So what's up guys, it's here by Nino or Quadigi, and in today's video, I'll be ranking the best SMG evolutions in Call of Duty Black Ops 4 after the 1.24 update. After the 1.24 update, I don't expect them to really nerf or buff any guns because, competitive's done. They don't really have a need to buff or nerf anything in a competitive sense. They might do things for pubs, but I think any nerfs between now and Modern Warfare will be very, very minimal. Unless there's something that's super overpowered that comes out, like a DLC weapon like the Stingray 2.0, who knows, comes out again. So in this video, I'm going to be ranking SMGs and their evolutions, how they've been buffed or nerfed over the lifetime of Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and pretty much how they ended up and how they were in the beginning. So it's kind of a little bit difficult, but as you guys can see, we have all the SMGs. And I'm going to start out with the Spitfire because the Spitfire has had the worst evolution.
Try!
In the very beginning, it was one of the best SMGs in the game, and now it's arguably one of the worst. For me, I put it at the lowest tier of SMG. Like, sure, you can still beast with it. All the SMGs, in my opinion, are actually usable. But in my opinion, it's just the worst SMG because you can only really use it up close. You try to use it at medium range, it just kind of falls off. You try to use it at far range, it's just a rip in the chat. And there's other guns that could do pretty well at very, very close ranges as well. And it is an SMG, so you're supposed to do well at close range, but having a medium range, I guess, viability is very big, and it just, I don't know, it's just the worst gun. So I have no gameplay on it, don't really want to talk about it. Let's go to the first honorable mention, or I guess number 6. I'm just gonna rank them like this. Number 6 is the GKS. The GKS is very, very viable in the sense that you can actually switch between hardcore and core with it, at least in my opinion. It's a lot more viable in hardcore, but I have found myself dropping nukes with the GKS. And honestly, the GKS is one of those weapons that's only been buffed. It's never been nerfed, at least to the knowledge of my thoughts. But even though it's been buffed all of these times, it still isn't one of the top SMGs. It was never a top SMG, but it was never, I mean, I guess you consider it one of the worst SMGs, along with the Spitfire, but at least in the evolution of the GKS, all it's received has been like range buffs, or damage buffs, or whatever the case is, or like handling buffs. It's never really been nerfed, if you guys really think about it. At number 5, I have the MX9. Now, I put the MX9 in number 5, and I put it as a solid SMG. Pretty much 5 and 4 are like solid SMGs. 6 and 7, the GKS and the Spitfire, they're like, I guess, quote-unquote bad SMGs, but they're still pretty usable. But the MX9 here is a solid SMG in my opinion, because you can use it really well in core with like rapid fire and high caliber, but it really shines in hardcore with that FMJ power that it has. If you run FMJ, hybrid mags, and stock and elo in hardcore, the MX9 just shines. And it's also been one of those SMGs. It was at the top before, so this is why I kind of rank it a little bit more lower in this list. It was one of the top SMGs in the very beginning of the game, but as time progressed, they kind of nerfed it a little bit, but then decided to buff it because they did realize, Treyarch realized that nobody was really using the MX9 anymore. So they decided to buff it, and now it's at a solid state. It's not really one of the craziest SMGs, but it's not really that weak either. You can perform well with it if you're really smart with it. So yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are as well when it comes to ranking these SMGs and their evolutions with all these buffs and nerfs or whatever the case may be. At number 4, we got the good old Cordite. The Cordite to me has always been in the middle. It's always been a solid SMG. It's never been one of my favorites though, just in the handling aspect, because it doesn't have quick draw. Its ADS speed is very, very slow compared to other SMGs. And that's one of the reasons why, to me, it's not really, I guess, crazy. Other people think it's really, really good. Some people would probably put this at a number 2 or number 3 SMG. I put it at number 4, just because the operator mod got nerfed. It has one of the best operator mods where you can just literally spam bullets for days. You used to have like 900 bullets, and now it's just only like 600. Or maybe that was with extended mags. I don't remember exactly what the case is, but they made it so you can't spray as much anymore, and that really hurt the gun. And it really never really got more buffed, to say. Obviously, it got a couple of buffs, but I think the nerfs really outclassed the buffs for the Cordite. And for me, and for that reason, it's not that good. But I mean, there's some buffs towards the end of its, I guess, evolution that made it a little bit more solid in my opinion. I actually do like it at times to use, but it's not my favorite SMG. Let me know what you guys think about the Cordite in the comment section below. Now, here's where we get to the top SMGs. In number 3, you guys already know, we got the spitballing demon, the saug. The saug has always been at the top. In the beginning of the game, when you use the saug, this gun was solid. Even through all the buffs and nerfs that this gun got, it's still one of the best SMGs for competitive as well. Also, I am ranking these SMGs just based on a pubs attribute, not really a competitive attribute. I'm just including the competitive attribute for this case for the saug. But the saug has always been the SMG used by all the pros because it just feels solid. I remember, you know, when they made the saug hit scan, it just feels even more better than it did before. And the saug, I don't know, it's the saug. Like, what more can you really say? It's the saug. Comparing the saug is like comparing the MP7. It's the SMG to use. The only thing that that makes this gun number 3, in my opinion, though, is the fact that its operator mod got really nerfed. Remember when the saug dual wield? It was the most OP thing in the whole wide world. That was like one of my very first videos that I made in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. The saug with dual wield operator mod. The saug's dual wielded were just insane. But now, if you try to put on the operator mod on the saug, it's just not viable anymore. Kind of like the Cordite's operator mod. It's just not viable anymore. Or as viable, but the saug's operator mod, you really only can use it up close. The saug by itself, with quick draw, grip, and fast mags, you can pretty much map people from good, medium, and even long ranges if you have a good shot. So the versatility of the saug makes it number 3. The only reason why it's downgraded a little bit is because of its operator mod. But yeah, let me know how you feel about the saug. Do you feel like it's good at number 3? Or do you feel like it should be number 1 or 2? It's definitely top 3. Number 2, we got the Switchblade. Now, the last two, as you guys can see, the last 2 I've left here are DLC weapons. And obviously, this is probably the best evolution to talk about because the DLC weapons, the DLC SMGs, I don't think we're going to get the MP40. I don't even want to talk about the MP40 right now. But the DLC SMGs that we have right now, which includes the Switchblade and the Daemon. Let's talk about the Switchblade. The Switchblade, when it came out, it was one of the worst weapons in the world. I did not want to use it. I guess Treyarch was just really afraid of making really OP DLC weapons at the time. And since they came in tiers, that is. This was a free SMG you could get from tiers, and they didn't want the DLC weapons from tiers to be OP. So they left it weak on purpose for the longest time. Everybody hated it. Nobody wanted to run around with the Switchblade. Nobody had a use for, you know, SMGs at the time. But as time progressed, and they decided to give the Switchblade more and more buffs, there was a period of time where the Switchblade was literally unstoppable. It was one of the most fun SMGs to use, and even now it's still one of the most fun SMGs to run around with. Obviously, after it had like that super god period, they had to tone it down a bit, you know, because the Switchblade, it turned out to be way too dominant. But even now, I still feel like I'm going to use the Switchblade over the saug, just for the simple fact that it feels like a P90 from Modern Warfare 3. And if you want to get multi-kills, then the Switchblade does so in such a good fashion. So let me know, how do you guys feel about the Switchblade now? Do you feel like it's too weak now with all the nerfs that it's got? Do you still feel like it's still pretty strong? I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys would think that the Switchblade is still pretty strong, because I can still drop really easy nukes with it. I can get a lot of good feats with it. Yeah, I would just like to know your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And now we got here at number 1, the Daemon 3XB. The Daemon, like the Switchblade, was super weak when it came out. I did not want to use it. I thought it was a piece of garbage. Even with High Cal 1 and High Cal 2, maybe I was using the wrong setup. It just didn't prove to be strong to me. It just was a piece of trash. But like the Switchblade, over time, Treyarch wanted to make the gun a little bit more stronger and stronger. And eventually, the Daemon reached a level of power unfathomable compared to all of the other guns in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And man, if you guys remember the Daemon just being abused like crazy, then you had a hell of a ride. It was annoying to go up against because it would just legit laser you. You would be down in 2 bursts with High Cal 2 once they gave it that enough power. So obviously they toned it down, and obviously the Daemon isn't as crazy as it was before, but it's still the top SMG. It still beams, and if you run the Daemon now, you're gonna have a hell lot of fun. It's the number 1 DLC SMG that you want to get out of reserves if you didn't get out of tiers when the game, you know, in the first few months of the game when it was in tiers. So let me know, how many of you guys have the Daemon, and how many of you guys would agree that the Daemon is the #1 SMG that has had the best evolution when it comes to Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Like the Daemon and the Switchblade, they've had a good evolution. You know, they were the worst weapons in the game, and they turned out being the best weapons in the game. The saug, it was always one of the top weapons, but then it was just nerfed a little bit, but still a top weapon in the game. The Cordite and the MX9, the MX9 used to be crazy during the beta, but then it got obviously toned down. It's kind of like, you know, it's kept the same spot like the Cordite, you know, at that number 4 and 5 spot. And then the Spitfire, it had the worst evolution. That's why it's at the bottom of my list. It had the worst evolution. It was one of the top guns in the beginning of the game. And then they nerfed it to hell, and now it's just like nobody runs with it unless you're a little bit of a maniac. And the GKS, it always got buffed, but it's still kind of a weaker gun. So yeah, do you agree with the list? Do you disagree with the list? Let me know in the comment section below. And let me know how you guys feel about these SMG evolutions. Just a little bit different commentary topic, I guess. And this is how I would rank at the SMGs. I freaking love you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the beta codes throughout the video. They're for Modern Warfare. So be ready for that. I freaking love you guys. And I'll see you guys later. Bye. I love you all.